The Boston Celtics are in the midst of an offseason shakeup, one that could have significant implications on their roster and salary cap. While the team navigates a tricky financial situation, trying to shed salary to stay under the league's second apron, there's a wildcard team lurking in the background that could throw a wrench in Boston's plans: the Utah Jazz. If you thought the Celtics' connections with Utah were just a product of the past, think again. With Austin Ainge now joining the Jazz front office, this once distant relationship between the two franchises may be about to heat up. Austin's move from Boston to Utah earlier this week brings with it the possibility of the Jazz becoming a critical player in Boston's offseason puzzle. This shift in personnel could ultimately make the Jazz a legitimate trade partner for the Celtics, a team in the midst of reshuffling its roster. And based on insider reports, including Mass Live's Brian Robb, the Jazz could be eyeing two key players who are already in the trade crosshairs: Kristaps Porzingis and Jrue Holiday. The Celtics' financial tightrope. Boston's financial situation is precarious. With a superstar trio in Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Marcus Smart, the Celtics are already locked into substantial salaries, and the looming specter of the second apron, a luxury tax level that comes with even more stringent penalties, adds pressure. As the Celtics plot their offseason moves, they're going to have to make some hard decisions, and shedding salary is a priority. Enter the Jazz, who may be more than willing to help facilitate that process. According to Rob, sources have confirmed that the Jazz were interested in both Porzingis and Holiday as trade targets in 2023 before the Celtics snatched them up. Both players remain key figures for Boston heading into the new season, but as their salaries loom large, Porzingis at $30.7 million and Holiday at $32.4 million, the Celtics could be inclined to move them in order to get their books in order and reset for the future. Danny Ainge knows Boston like no other. Here's where the intrigue comes into play: the Ainge connection. Danny Ainge, now the CEO and alternate governor of the Jazz, has an intimate understanding of what makes the Celtics tick. Having served as Boston's GM for over a decade, Ainge knows their roster, their weaknesses, and their overall strategy inside and out. Ainge was instrumental in building Boston into a perennial contender during his tenure, stockpiling a massive collection of draft picks and assets for major trades. Now, those assets could be put to use in a way that directly affects Boston's future. With Austin Ainge, Danny's son, now on the Jazz's front office team, the bond between the franchises is stronger than ever, creating an undeniable trade synergy that could shift the course of this offseason. Could this be the beginning of a bigger deal? The larger question is whether the Jazz are merely interested in Porzingis and Holiday, or if they have their sights set on something even bigger. If Utah's front office, led by the Ainges, believes the team is closer to playoff contention than many think, they could make a major push to acquire these Celtic stars and put themselves back into the playoff race sooner than expected. If the Jazz are serious about competing for a spot in the postseason, the opportunity to land established players like Porzingis and Holiday would be a major step forward. Both players have shown their ability to impact winning at a high level, and their skill sets could complement Utah's existing core, featuring young talent like Lauri Markkanen and Walker Kessler. But the Jazz aren't alone in their interest. Other teams around the league are also eyeing Porzingis and Holiday, making the Celtics' options varied and dynamic. Boston will have to sift through competing offers, carefully weighing the best deal for both their present and future. A trade that could shake up the NBA landscape. As the offseason progresses, one thing is clear: Utah could quickly become a major player in the trade market, potentially changing the landscape of the NBA. If Danny Ainge and the Jazz can work their magic once again, they might not only steal the Celtics' targets, but also set up a deal that helps both teams get closer to their respective goals. For the Celtics, this is a pivotal moment. The potential for a trade with the Jazz could help them maneuver under the financial constraints of the second apron, all while resetting their roster for the future. But with Danny Ainge at the helm in Utah, no move can be taken for granted. This could very well be the beginning of a new chapter in Celtics Jazz trade history, one that could significantly impact both teams for years to come.